7 News Detroit at 11 starts right now.
Tonight, Detroiters are heading to the polls early to make their voices heard in the upcoming presidential election. Thank you so much for joining us on 7 News Detroit. I'm Whitney Burney. With just 17 days until Election Day, things are heating up in our battleground state. Both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump were in Metro Detroit on Friday, making their pitch to voters as the race for the White House enters the home stretch. Vice President Harris stuck around for another campaign event today to encourage Detroiters to get out for the first day of early in-person voting. She was joined by music superstar and Detroit native Lizzo. She fired back on disparaging comments former President Trump made about Detroit last week. Trump walking those comments back last night.
They say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit. Proud like Detroit. Resilient like Detroit. We're talking about the same Detroit that innovated the auto industry and the music industry. So put some respect on Detroit's name.
We love this place. We love Detroit. We win Michigan. We win the whole ball game.
Early in-person voting began in Detroit today. Motor City residents showing up and certainly showing out at the polls. 7 News Detroit reporter Tiara Braddock tells us how they're making their voices heard.
According to the Michigan Secretary of State office, more than 1,000 Detroit residents came out to vote early in person on Saturday.
I feel good about the convenience and all the locations that they have out here in Detroit to be able to promote early voting.
Taleeka Franklin just moved to Detroit from Atlanta. She decided to vote early on Saturday.
I didn't want to wait until Election Day and suffer any long lines and things of that sort that may, like I said, lead to some voter suppression. So getting ahead of the game and being able to come out here and cast my vote to make sure that it counted was really important to me.
If you want to vote early in person in Detroit, there are 14 different locations in the city where you can do so. They will be open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's a privilege to have this opportunity to vote for who you want to kind of work for you. So why not exercise that privilege?
For Detroit resident Maya Campbell, her family has made voting early a tradition during elections.
My dad always advocated for us to just use our vote for our voice. And so that's what I decided to do today. At the end of the day, we're all here just trying to live day to day. So politically it can get tough, but when you vote, you're just putting your message out there. So go ahead and do it.
The last day to vote early in person is November 3rd. If you already have an absentee ballot filled out but haven't turned it in yet, you can go to an early voting center and put it in a tabulator. You can also put that absentee ballot in a drop box at an early voting location. And of course, you can always mail it in. As for Taleeka Franklin, she says it doesn't matter how you vote, as long as you do it.
Just get out and vote. And once again, like I said, we really can't play with it when it comes to civil liberties, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican.
You can find a list of where those early in-person voting centers are in the city of Detroit on our website at WXYZ.com. Reporting downtown, Tiara Braddock, 7 News Detroit.
Stay with 7 News Detroit for continuing coverage this election season on air and on our website, WXYZ.com.